I'm not seeking penance for what I've done, Father. And I'm asking forgiveness for what I'm about to do.
What's going on, everyone? It's Simp. Welcome back to the channel. We just got some pretty incredible news, especially for the hardcore Daredevil Netflix fans, and it looks like Marvel Studios will be producing a new project for the character coming really soon. Ever since Charlie Cox returned as Matt Murdock in No Way Home, this seemed like it would be a given. However, this is an insanely fast turnaround, which really makes me believe that the fans had a huge part in this, let alone Kingpin returning in Hawkeye. Something that people always forget about is Charlie Cox and a lot of these Marvel Netflix actors had some pretty interesting contracts. In fact, Cox said it was always the intention for him to show up in the MCU back since 2018, but the Netflix contract and Marvel TV issues with the studio prevented this from happening until that 2-year agreement was up. That's why we recently just saw all of the shows leave Netflix and are now coming to Disney+. This is also a really big deal in terms of rating. Moon Knight is PG-13 but will push the limit according to Kevin Feige, and I think it will be slightly edgier, but at the same time it was nothing like these Netflix shows. And all the Netflix shows were TV mature, or what is the equivalent to rated R. And so with them being added to the platform, I expect more rated R content to come, possibly with this new Daredevil series. If I'm not mistaken, almost every country has a rated R content on their Disney Plus app, whether it be through the Star add-on or in the US's case Hulu. But even though Hulu is a part of Disney, it's not technically a direct connect to the Disney Plus app, so this is a big leap moving forward. A lot of you probably have questions on if this will be a soft reboot for the MCU or a direct season 4 continuation. Charlie Cox said he wants to be in the MCU for as long as he can, and we know Daredevil will be showing up in She-Hulk, and the Echo show is said to start filming this spring, likely with D'Onofrio's Kingpin returning, and Daniel RPK has mentioned that Daredevil will be in that as well. In general, however, I believe we will be seeing a soft reboot, but hear me out before you comment. It won't be like most reboots by completely starting over, because time and again, Kevin Feige shows admiration for these non-Marvel Studios properties, and we know that basically the entire cast is reportedly coming back. So in a way, it'll be a continuation, but of course within the MCU's world. So here's what I think this exactly means, is that there will be an untold history. Matt and Fisk will have known each other, they will have history, but to make it fully work within the context of the MCU, a lot of that story will be left unsaid. We might get Easter eggs or slight references to it, but picture them just starting fresh out again, even though the audience is aware of this history. We now know from No Way Home that Matt already has his heightened abilities and that he's been a lawyer, which must have took place over the past few years. But now we would get into, well, why hadn't he helped before? And I think those minor things are what Feige will change. How do we insert these characters into this growing world? And the easiest way to do that is very slightly starting fresh, but to continue it as a season 4 in a way. So yes, it's a soft reboot in terms of setting and plot, but one can imagine that Matt in No Way Home has been what he has been through over those past 3 seasons on that show. Vincent D'Onofrio said he brought his same portrayal of Wilson Fisk from the Netflix show to his Hawkeye version and believed them to be the same. He also mentioned that the blip damaged his empire, and so he's sort of rebuilding at this moment. There were complaints of Wilson acting different, but I think he's just a man who doesn't have as much as he used to have. He needs to do the dirty work again and try to remove those who get in his way, just like Kate tried to do in the Hawkeye finale. And so overall, that's where I think they head with this Daredevil reboot. It's just a rebuilding the show after the blip. So somewhat starting fresh, but still having all that history from before. Just now figuratively and literally re-emerging and rebuilding connections in this phase 4 going forward. When we get more information and news, I'll make another video on this, more in depth and of what to expect. Let me know your thoughts about this though in the comments below. Follow me on Twitter @AnotherMarvelG, and if you like Marvel, the MCU, comics, and everything in between, subscribe to the channel and drop a like. Other than that, I just want to say thank you. I'm another Marvel guy, and I'll catch y'all on the blip.